So I got the idea for this story in talking with a friend recently. The housing market, I've done plenty of coverage of how homes continue to get more expensive. But renters, they're facing a similar situation. Rent is going up as well. So what can you do to work with your landlord on getting your rent lowered? I took this issue to the Fair Housing Center. While this isn't their main focus, because their work tends to be focused on discrimination-based cases and violations of the Fair Housing Act, they were able to offer some tips. I spoke with George Thomas. He's the CEO and general counsel for the Fair Housing Center. He says there are plenty of things you can do, starting with comparing your unit to other units across the city, because if you're trying to get a lower rent, one powerful thing to have is evidence that your unit can be a much lower price, as demonstrated by others around the city.
You want to be looking for how many square footage is in the other location, maybe the price per square foot, what kind of amenities at the other locations that you're looking at. That gives you like a comparison point.
Other options he said to consider, public or subsidized housing.
So in our area, typically you can look at LMH's website, look at Special Housing Authority's website, and see if they have any openings available. I don't believe they have any right now as of the day of us talking. Another option is other kinds of subsidized housing that can range. Sometimes there's senior housing that's particularly affordable because of grants that the housing provider gets. And sometimes there's multifamily, and those unfortunately are a little bit more complicated in that you're going to have to call every one of those individually and see if they have an opening right now for you.
Now, Thomas had made clear that there's nothing wrong with asking for help or asking for your rent to be lowered. That's well within your rights. He also told me that despite the fact the Fair Housing Center's focus isn't landlord-tenant negotiation, he's glad I brought this up because some people, when they go into this process, they do come out with a legitimate discrimination case. So that obviously is a part of the Fair Housing Center's efforts. Reporting in downtown Toledo, I'm Jaden Jefferson.